Hi everybody, it's Abby. Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year! Thank you so much for everyone who continues to subscribe and watch my videos, even though I'm really sporadic about putting them out there. And thank you for all of your comments because I really love to read them. It makes my day, so thank you so much for that. Today's video is about progressed moon in Virgo. To reiterate what progressions are, is they're your natal positions sped up one day for every year you've been alive, so they move super slow. So the moon in your progressed chart represents your evolving needs and relationships. If you look at where your progressed moon is at any given time, it kind of describes the general emotional climate you have during a 2.5 year period. So Virgo is mutable earth. Mutable is the end of a season. This is a really adaptable, flexible energy. Virgo is very pragmatic. It's very useful. It likes to be of use. So when your moon progresses into Virgo, you stop being super selfish like you were in the previous progression when it was in Leo, and you stop really thinking about yourself entirely all the time. You really have to start focusing on other people. So when your progressed moon is in Leo, which is a fire sign, you're all about creativity, self-expression. It's fixed fire, so you can be a little bit stubborn during this time frame. When your progressed moon moves into Virgo, usually there's a catalyst. Something happens, like a life event where all of a sudden you have to get maybe a second job and you're doing twice the work you were before, or you have to go back to school, or you have to start taking care of someone. In general, your focus is going to be on work, health, your daily routine, including your job, and your personal habits. This is also a time where you're going to get super organized because you're going to have to be, basically. Like, you are going to have a full schedule, so you're going to have to use a planner of some sort. When your progressed moon was in Leo, it was really more about the creativity, and now it's about the details. So you become very detail oriented to the point of being a perfectionist. This is where some health issues might come into play because Virgo is so detail oriented that if things aren't perfect, you can feel really stressed out during this progression. There's a lot of psychosomatic symptoms that come up. So when my progressed moon was in Virgo, I was working really hard. I was in middle management, which just sucked anyway. But I was working like 50-hour work weeks at least, and I was commuting like 12 hours a week, and I was going to school full time. And I developed this nervous disorder, and the doctors couldn't figure out what it was. They were like, your blood pressure is super low, you just eat more salt. I was just like walking around, and then I would just pass out. It was really strange. In hindsight, it wasn't that strange because I was extremely stressed out at the time. You might be in like a position of servitude when this moon progression is going on. You might be like me, where you're in middle management, so you're really in service to higher management, or you might be taking care of someone, nursing someone, or taking care of an older relative. There's something very selfless about Virgo, so somehow you have to put your own shit aside and focus. And it can be very difficult if you don't have an Earth moon naturally. So if you have a Taurus moon or a Virgo moon or a Capricorn moon, you are going to handle the Earth energy better. If you have a mutable moon like Gemini, Sagittarius, or Pisces, you might have that energy down a little bit better as well. But it can go either way. Like if you have one of those other moons, Gemini, Sag, or Pisces, your natal moon is going to square the Virgo progression, so it could be actually extra stressful for you. Some things you can do to really maximize your experience while your progressed moon is in Virgo is you can become extremely focused on your health. So you can revamp your whole exercise routine, your diet. You can go back to school at this time and do really well because you're super organized and studious. So you'll do the reading, you'll do the work, you'll take time out in your day to do what you need to do because you have this sort of feeling like you feel like you need to be doing something, you need to be of use. So if you're not caretaking for someone else and feeling of use in that way, or really super involved in your job where you feel like you're being of service to people, then you can be of service to yourself, and I would highly recommend you do that anyway when your moon is going through Virgo, because if you don't serve yourself, you can't really serve others. So it's a great time to get your diet back where it should be, like I said, exercise routine. And it's not just about health and work, it's also about how you set up your day. So oftentimes what happens is we don't realize the energy drains that we have during our lives. So let's say you get up and you rush to work every day. You're late every day because you just don't take time out to get up a half an hour earlier, or you don't pack your lunch the night before, or you have some thing you do, like maybe you go on Instagram for 20 minutes in the morning and it's just something you don't need to do, but you know you don't need to do it, but you just keep doing it. During this progression, if you examine all these little energy drains, and you say, okay, one by one, I'm going to improve my life by getting rid of the energy drains, and I'm going to start putting things into my life that will improve. It only takes 30 days to form a habit. So if you just do this and you maybe do like one habit every month for the entire progression, that's 2.5 years. So you could be in a much better place by the end of this progression. So as an example, I'm not in my progressed Virgo phase anymore. I'm in Sagittarius now. But this past year, I did several things that really improved my life on a daily basis. So one thing I started doing was meditating for 20 minutes every morning. And now it's become an absolute routine for me. Like I never miss a day. It's vastly improved my life. Another thing that I did personally is I started journaling for like 20 minutes in the morning. That helps me to get my thoughts clear and everything so that for the rest of the day, I'm set up. There may be something you're doing that's bad that you could get rid of during your progressed moon in Virgo. For example, maybe you drink soda, every day, and it's made you gain like 5 pounds a year because soda's terrible for you and you shouldn't drink it. So that's something that you could eliminate. You're kind of working on yourself throughout this 2.5 year period, and it's really like an introverted time. You're not so much out in the spotlight. Like you don't need the same level of attention that you did when your progressed moon was in Leo, and you're not, if you're in a partnership, you might actually be working a lot harder than your partner is. So during this lunar progression for me, it was like 10 years ago. I was in a relationship at the time. I was working really hard at work. I was commuting, I was going to school full time, and I was in a relationship, and I definitely felt like I was putting in a lot of the work. I don't know if that's how it was perceived on the other side. So by the end of your progressed moon in Virgo, when it starts to go into Libra, you're gonna, at that point, try and regain balance in your life. So especially in your relationships, you're really gonna try to gain that balance back that you kind of upset when your moon was in Virgo because you were doing way too much. Similarly, if your progressed moon is going through your 6th house, you're going to be dealing with work, health, psychosomatic symptoms, stress. You're going to be dealing with routines, and also pets become really important when your progressed moon is going through your 6th house, regardless of the sign that it's in. So that's progressed moon in Virgo, and if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I am doing readings again. They're video readings, and I will leave the information in the box below as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!